guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the G.I. Joe Retaliation Red Ninja figure. So G.I. Joe Retaliation is upon us. It's hitting theaters now, and to kick things off, we've got a ton of cool new action figures that are hitting store shelves. So today we're going to take a look at the Red Ninja figure. So Red Ninja comes on that Retaliation style card back, featuring Roadblock and Snake Eyes from the new film up at the top of the card, while the rest of it is just kind of this orange and yellow color scheme. Now I've said this in some of my past Retaliation reviews, and it still holds here. I'm not really a fan of this new packaging. I sort of feel like this is the most boring and bland looking G.I. Joe packaging that we've seen in quite some time. But I understand that they're trying to get the movie recognition going with this line, and they want to make sure that kids realize this is from the new film, so this is kind of what we're stuck with. Now the back of the packaging shows off some different poses for Red Ninja, and mentions some of his included features, such as his launching zipline with 7 feet of string. This is a common thing we've seen with a lot of these Retaliation figures, and I'll get more into that in just a bit. So let's go ahead and take a look at Red Ninja outside of the packaging. Now overall, the sculpt and design of this guy is pretty great. The body is a reuse from the Storm Shadow figure from the G.I. Joe Renegades line. He's just got himself a brand new head that's just kind of got the nice ninja mask going on, so there's really none of his face or anything like that showing. The whole figure is molded in that red color, and then he's highlighted with some black accents on his knees and his shins and the sash that he's wearing. So it's a very simple color job, but it's effective. It looks really nice on this figure. I think that Storm Shadow body works very well to use for these random Red Ninjas as well. I love all of the details such as the folds and everything in the outfit, and it definitely does have a nice ninja vibe to it. It's not overly detailed, it's nice and simple, and as I said, it works very effectively for this particular character. The articulation on the guy is very nicely done as well. It's exactly what you would expect out of most of the modern G.I. Joe action figures. The head is on a ball joint so it can look left and right, up and down, kind of roll around there. You got the nice ball joints at the shoulders, so you can move the arms outwards, forwards, backwards. Swivel above the elbow as well as an elbow joint. A swivel at the wrist, and the right wrist even has a hinge joint. You got a nice little torso rocker there, so you can rotate them left and right and rock them around. You got the nice G.I. Joe style joint at the thighs there, the hinge joint, so the legs can go outwards, forwards, and backwards. The knees are double jointed, so a good range of motion there. You've got a standard ankle joint, plus you've got a really nice ankle rocker joint on this so that you can get some great posing out of the feet. So, good amount of posability there. That should allow you to get some great ninja style stances out of your Red Ninja figure. Now, as far as accessories go, the Red Ninja includes 2 katana swords. Now, one thing I will say before I show off the swords is that both of his hands are kind of posed in this really weird kind of open pose. You can see that his fingers are kind of spread wide open on both hands. Now, he can hold the swords fine, but he doesn't get as tight a grip on them as I would hope he does. So you are going to have instances of the swords falling out of his hands, especially when you're posing him around. But once you get him posed, you can put the swords in his hands, and he will hold on to them, so you can get some pretty cool poses out of him with his swords. Now, unfortunately, he doesn't come with any sheath, so there's no way to actually holster the swords on him if you're not wanting them to be held in his hands. You can probably slip them just behind the little black sash on his back, and that seems to work okay, but I do still wish that there was an included sheath to put them in instead. Now, his next accessory is the more kid-friendly accessory. It's the zip line that comes with the 7 feet of string. Now, like I said, this has been a very common trend we've seen on a lot of the Retaliation figures so far. In fact, if you've already picked up figures like Snake Eyes, you know exactly what you're getting here. This is the exact same little missile launcher pack that came with that figure. Basically, it just has a large orange hook-type missile on it. You can clip the launcher onto the Red Ninja's hand, but it's very big and bulky, so don't expect him to be able to stand very well while it's clipped on his hand. You can do it, but it is going to knock him over sometimes. You can slip the little string through the little slit on the back there, and that way you can launch the missile off, which doesn't have a very powerful projectile, I might add. But it is kind of cool because you can then hook it up and you can have your Red Ninja ziplining down the string. Now, again, this is definitely meant for the kids. It's not something that I know the collectors are going to be as happy with, but I understand that with this being a movie line, we got to have appeal for the kids too. Luckily, if it's an accessory that you don't want, you can just toss it aside and use those swords instead. So there you go, guys. There's a look at the brand new Red Ninja figure from the G.I. Joe Retaliation line. Overall, I do really like this figure. I think it's a great design. I like the black and red color scheme. I like that he does have the 2 katana blades, with my only really nitpick being that I wish he had a better way to store them. Otherwise, you can get some great posing out of this guy, and he's going to be a really nice army builder if you're a fan of the ninjas in G.I. Joe. The Red Ninja, along with all the other G.I. Joe Retaliation figures, are hitting store shelves right now, so happy hunting, and until next time.